For KBRFradio.com news, I'm Dave Bishop, and this is the weekly news recap brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonемemorials.com, memorials that matter. The decision was made quickly after all three finalists for the next Fergus Falls Chief of Police visited Fergus Falls last Tuesday. Justin Paul was announced Monday as the next Chief of Fergus Falls Police Department. Justin Paul has a 27-year career in law enforcement and currently serves as the captain in the Bettendorf, Iowa Police Department. Paul has a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice with a minor in psychology from St. Ambrose University. He holds 2 master's degrees from St. Ambrose University, a master's in business administration and a master of criminal justice. When Justin was asked what made Fergus Falls so appealing, he said, "It's kind of like Goldilocks. I've worked in a smaller town, around 3,000, and I've worked in a bigger town, around 50,000. Fergus Falls is just the right size." The current Chief of Public Safety role, held by Kyle Bergeron, who announced his upcoming retirement from the city earlier this year. Bergeron has worked for the city of Fergus Falls since December 2001 and has served as the chief since October 2010. An Elizabeth woman who was charged in the drug overdose death of a man in rural Fergus Falls last August has been sentenced to just over 6 years in prison. Officials say that 27-year-old Caitlin Carroll of Elizabeth pleaded guilty in June to third-degree murder. Carroll reportedly supplied a mixture of methamphetamine and fentanyl to a 28-year-old man who was found unresponsive in a home and later died. In addition, a plastic bag containing a white powder was reportedly recovered with her DNA on it. Minnesota State Senator Nicole Mitchell will resign from the legislature by 5 p.m. Monday, August 4th, according to her attorney, Dane DeCray. He said Mitchell wants time to wrap up legislative work and to help her staff transition. Mitchell was convicted on Friday of 2 counts of burglary after breaking into her stepmother's home in April 2024. She was found in the basement wearing a black, carrying burglary tools. Mitchell initially claimed she was retrieving personal items belonging to her late father, but then later testified she was checking on her stepmother who has Alzheimer's disease. DeCray says jail time is likely. A reaction from state lawmakers is coming in. Republican Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson of East Grand Forks said Senator Mitchell was convicted of 2 felonies. She doesn't get to give the Senate 2 weeks' notice. Democrats shielded Mitchell for 15 months to protect their political power, but a jury needed just 3 hours to confirm what's already been clear. She shouldn't be a senator. DFL Senate Majority Leader Aaron Murphy of St. Paul says Nicole Mitchell has gotten the due process she's entitled to and was convicted by a jury of her peers. Her attorney conveyed that she will resign her Senate seat by Monday, August 4th. With the clarity brought to the resolution to this case, the Senate DFL caucus will continue to focus on issues to improve the lives of Minnesota families and communities. A woman from Rochester was transported to Lake Region Hospital after colliding with a deer just after 1:30 Tuesday morning. The Minnesota State Patrol said the crash took place along I-94 near milepost 59 east of Fergus Falls. The 2023 Ford Explorer was traveling eastbound on the interstate when it collided with the deer. The 23-year-old female driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to Lake Region Hospital in Fergus Falls. The 27-year-old male passenger was not injured. Governor Tim Walz says he won't announce his plans for the 2026 election until after the Minnesota State Fair wraps up on Labor Day. Walz told reporters this week that the killing of Melissa Hortman led to a personal reflection. The governor has hinted at a third term, saying in April that he was raising resources to run again. If he does, Walz says he won't seek the presidency in 2028. Several Republican challengers have already entered the race. Meanwhile, Minnesota's Republican congressional delegation sent a letter to the governor demanding answers regarding alleged fraud within the Minnesota Department of Human Services Housing Stabilization Services program. Congressman Tim Emmer said in a statement, as Minnesota is facing a projected $6 billion deficit, this continued pattern of fraud in Minnesota is completely unacceptable. The Minnesota GOP lawmakers are asking Walz for information on how this fraud has happened on his watch. Federal agents recently raided the HSS for suspected Medicaid fraud. This has been the Weekly News Recap Brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com. Memorials that matter. For KBRFradio.com news, I'm Dave Bishop. Tune in every Friday at 12:30 at KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBRFradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by